Hi, I'm Christa Jacobson, headmistress at the Budo, and today in this video I'm going to share with you guys some DNA results from Ancestry.com. And but before we begin, I kind of want to give you guys a little bit of preview of this video because I've been meaning to make this video for quite some time. I received this Ancestry.com DNA kit as a gift last Christmas, last holiday. And when I got the results, it took about 6 weeks or so, 8 weeks to get the results, which would have been like last February. I was like, I'm going to make a video about this. I want to share with everybody this Ancestry.com DNA thing, and I thought it was pretty cool. However, anyone who's ever worked with me on making videos and stuff like that, anyone can tell you that I'm really slow at making videos and getting things like that out. So if it doesn't have anything to do with Budo Ninjutsu, Budo, then I'm pretty slow about getting those kind of videos out. And months after I got my results, an individual that I subscribe to on YouTube, who's also in the Ninjutsu community, his name's Anthony Cummins, and he had made a video on Ancestry.com and his DNA results. And I saw his video and I'm like, shit, I need to make that video because I had got the results as well. And there's a few similarities with his results and mine that I thought was fairly interesting. But anyway, he made that video, I don't know, must have been like 3 or 4 months ago he made his video. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make my video. Now I'm motivated. I gotta get my video out, right? Just, why not? And yeah, 3 or 4 months later, I'm now making that particular video. So with all that being said, I'd like to share with you guys the DNA results of my Ancestry.com. When I got it as a gift, it came in a little box, okay? And it's just a small little box, and as you open the box, it has instructions and tells you how you can register everything, and it gives you a little a kit on how you can submit your DNA for testing and so on and so forth. Once you have taken the sample that they want and you've shipped it to them, it does take 6 to 8 weeks or so before you get your results. Now, once you get those results, you simply log on to Ancestry.com, which is what I've got here. I'm already logged on, and it gives you results. Okay, so this is my page on Ancestry.com. And right over here is your basic breakdown. Basically what they're going to show you is the top 3 percentages of your DNA. So 57% of my DNA comes from Great Britain, British, 18% is Ireland, and 10% is Finland, or Northwest Russia, but 10% Finland. So 57% Great Britain, 18% Ireland, and 10% Finland. Now right here, I can click this and it says see full ethnicity estimates. I'm going to click that. Now once you get to this page over here, you can move all these things. That gives you a breakdown and all that, which I think is pretty cool. But on this side over here is really what the breakdown is, over here to the left. Okay. Now it says I'm 99% of my DNA comes from Europe, 1% is from West Asia, and right there it says trace regions. So when I click on that 1% right there, you'll see that trace region, that 1% comes from the Caucasus. I think I pronounced that correct, but that's where that 1% is. And when you flip over here, there you go. Now, if we go back up here to Europe, I click on Great Britain. Now, Great Britain, I'm 57% of my DNA is British. Now, when I scroll down over here, what I find interesting is there's me, Christa Jacobson, 57%, but the typical native, the typical person who's born there and lives there is 60%. So I'm not really that far off from the typical native that's there. Interesting enough, in Anthony's video, and I'm pretty sure he was born over there, he's 57% as well. So I thought that was interesting. But over here, you click on the next one, it says Ireland. In Ireland, I'm 18% of my DNA comes from Ireland. And down here, when you look at it, here's Christa Jacobson, 18%. The typical native from there is 95%. So I'm very, very much away from that region. I'm further away from
Ireland than I am from Great Britain. And then we go to Finland, and I'm 10%, right? 10%. We scroll down here, and 10% of my DNA is here, and the typical native is 99%. So I'm even further away from a DNA perspective. I'm even further away from there. So it's not just a percentage of, this is 10%, 1857, but it's also looking from a percentage. You get to see, well, this is how much of my DNA, but this is how much the typical native is. So it really shows you the separation between where you are and where the typical native is in that area today. So thinking of that, going back up to Great Britain here, at 57%, and the typical native is 60. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm going to come up here, and it should have, there it is right there. Show all regions. This is interesting. I'm going to show this, and then you'll see, I'm going to tell you a story on why I wanted to take this test. Okay, so in Africa, 0% of my DNA comes from Africa. I don't think I can understand that. Now, America, 0%. When people read this, it's Native American is what is being tested. So there's no Native American in my DNA. Let me get closer with the camera. Like I said, I'm holding the camera with my right hand. I'm using the mouse with my left hand, and I'm looking at the computer. I'm not looking at the camera. So if the camera goes off, sorry about that. But we come down to Asia, and again, Asia is 0%. So Africa, 0%, Native American, 0%, Asia, 0%. And then we get down. 99% of me is from Europe, and 1% is from the Caucasus.
Right, so those are my results, my DNA results. And like I said, I got it as a gift last year for the holidays, and it's something that I really wanted to know from a DNA perspective, where am I from and things like that. I do have an account on Ancestry.com because I am following my my mother's line, bloodline. I know who my mother is, and I'm following that bloodline to get as much information as I can. I can't follow my the other side because I don't know the other side, so I can't really see so much that particular line of where I'm from. But I am following my my mother's maiden name in that particular family, and one thing that I have found through that is there were many witches who have been convicted and all that kind of stuff for witchcraft and stuff like that, which I think is very interesting because, I think people really want to know the things that we believe and the things that we feel and those natural tendencies to, believe certain things, act a certain way, be a certain way. Are those learnt? Is it ingrained into your DNA? Is it something that's there? Those are always questions that people always ask. Of course, I'm one of the people that believe that we all have free will and we can choose. We can choose what we like and dislike. But one thing I do find interesting is that the spiritual path that I've chosen and the things that I do now as a profession and teaching, martial arts and things like that. As I'm going through the family tree on my mother's maiden name, as I'm going down this particular tree, I'm finding lots of witches. I'm finding lots of people who very pagan and lots of other things that are very much me. And I think that's very interesting, because there's an old saying, the apple don't fall too far from the tree, right? But I do find it interesting, like when you start going back through your family history, you see so many similarities of things that you think and feel and believe, and that's interesting because I'm very far away from that. I'm very far away from my family. I'm personally very far away from any kind of influence like that, family influence, and just to know that I still have specific traits, I think is very interesting. From a DNA perspective, I think it's great that I got to know where the percentages are and where the percentages came from. My big questions would be the same questions that I think Anthony said on the end of his video. You know, how far does it go back? What percentage of this is this? Like the big one that stood out for me when I watched his particular video, I could be wrong, but I believe he was also 57% Great Britain. So, and he was born and raised, you know, over there, and I'm over here. So I know that it's a DNA thing. It's not exactly, you know, where you're born, but I would just assume, you know, and my assumption would be mine would be way less. You know, I'm not very educated when it comes to DNA testing and the science behind it and all that kind of stuff. So all this is beyond me. I don't have any education in it. So I'm speaking from what I think. It's because I don't know that much about it. It does help. Me doing the DNA testing helped with my family tree because, like I said, I may not know one side of my tree, but I definitely know my mother's side. And that alone has opened up a big door by doing the DNA testing. It's opened up more doors for me to search for the last name, the family name, and things like that, and go on and on and on. Now, one reason I wanted to take the test, and it was very heartbreaking, I think, for some of my family members. In fact, my family members, some of them don't even believe me to this day that this DNA test can even be accurate. I've always been told that since I was little, we've always been told that we have Native American in us. I'm sure somewhere down the line someone told them that there was Native American in our bloodline, and it just keeps being passed on. Which makes this story interesting, and I'm going to tell you this story. I have at least 10 students who have the same exact story, you know, where somewhere in our family bloodline there was a Cherokee princess or something like that, and blah, blah, blah. And it's the same story that was told to me was the same story that I hear from at least 10 other my students. And I don't know if they have Native American in their bloodline either, but it's just something that was told to me as a kid, so I just believed it. And now I get the DNA testing, it's like, yeah, Native American, 0%. Just, right? So I showed that to my mom, and my mom was like, no, that's not correct. That's wrong. I said, well, Mom, it's science. No, well, it's wrong. I was like, okay. So, anyway, yeah, so that one kind of shut the door on that. But it is interesting. If you guys are interested about where you come from, where your family comes from, things like that, I definitely highly recommend it for those people who are searching. I was researching the family tree, like I said, my mother's maiden name, that family line, and I got so far, but by doing the DNA testing and knowing where the majority of my DNA comes from, it made it much easier for me to start opening up new areas of research to find more information on my family. And I have found a lot, and I'm very surprised and very honored to be part of the family tree that I'm in. So, because you start finding the people that you're related to, and it's like, that's fucking amazing, you know, that this person I'm related to that person, I'm related to that person, and this woman stood up and did this, and this man did this, and it was, you know, it's quite empowering when you start, you know, gathering information of where you come from, and, you know, it just gives you a sense of self-worth, self-empowerment, you know. Yeah, gives you a little help, motivation for the day, you know. So anyway, I wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully I didn't bore you to death. Before I go though, you know, I'm gonna throw this out there because I do it in every one of my videos. If you guys are interested in authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu, as you guys know, I am the head mistress of the Budo, and that's what I teach, is ninjutsu and samurai bujutsu. So if you guys are interested in classical Japanese warfare and classical Japanese martial arts, please check out my website at www.budoninjutsu.com. All the information will be below. If you do not live next to one of our dojos, we do offer an online training program where you guys can log online and get your lessons, and just like I'm making videos right here, right now, you guys would be doing the same thing and working out in front of me via webcam or video or something like that. So if you guys are interested and want to train with me but not near one of our dojos, we do offer the online ninjutsu training. So again, it's www.budo-ninjutsu.com. Thank you guys very much for all of your love and support. I deeply appreciate it. Until next time, take care, be safe, and good luck in your journey of Budo. Bless.